Hey there everyone, and in this series we will be doing a deep dive into Eberron and what makes Corvair one of my favorite continents to run adventures in. Eberron was created in 2004 by Keith Baker, who actually won a contest by Wizards of the Coast, which was to put your setting on one piece of paper and see if it gets chosen out of the bunch. And Keith Baker's did. I think it was like 10,000 applicants that attempted to have their setting published by Wizards of the Coast, and Keith's won. And I can see why. I don't know what was on that one page. I would personally love to read it. Eberron is a massive reimagining of fantasy mixed in with science and what Keith calls wide magic, not high magic, as in everybody gets powerful spells, but almost everybody knows the low-level spells. One of the things that he used as an example was, I think it was him, I'm not sure, that chefs would know the prestidigitation cantrip to heat and cold food, but that's all they'd really know is just that one little bit of magic. But they know how to do it so well that they could spice foods perfectly, heat or chill it to the perfect temperature, and chefs would have that sort of power. Theater actors that would put on shows in Sharn would definitely know the thaumaturgy cantrip, but only to the point where they could readjust their voice properly. That sort of widespread magic, where everybody knows a bit, but nobody knows almost high-level magic, which makes player characters feel very special because they're really the only ones that know 6th and 7th level spells. So as a DM, it gets a little complicated. Like, if you want spellcasters to kind of go toe-to-toe with them, how do they know it? Just kind of make spellcasting like a natural ability or something, but there's ways around it. But it's that type of thought where technology, because there's airships and elevators and things like that, kind of steampunky, but it's all powered by magic, gets run into this wide magic world. And there are many great nations of Sharn. The lore behind Eberron is fantastically well. So most settings take place after the 100-Year War, which we will make another video on that. This is just kind of the general introduction to Eberron and why I love it. And kind of we're going to be going into a deep dive series. At first, I'll probably be covering the nations or the races, depending which. I think I'll go with nations first and then do the races after, because I think the nations define Eberron much better than the races do. So in the Forgotten Realms, I find that the history of the races best defines the lore behind the Forgotten Realms, versus in Eberron, I find the history of the nations better describes the continent of Corvair than than those races. Now there are some race lore like Warforged, the Moorhold's dwarves and things like that that can be defining, but I find that what Keith Baker did, he did an excellent job at you can take almost any race in Eberron and kind of implant it into a nation and it'll fit fine. He did an amazing job there. So that's where elves can be found anywhere, dwarves, humans, and there's a lot of different kinds. Now, there are some races that are found in Forgotten Realms that are not found in Eberron as well. So there's, things like Kenku. Now, if you want to place them, we'll talk, when we talk about Ciri, that's a good place to talk about these types of races. But that is one thing that I love about Eberron, is the fact that it's the history of the nations and the last war and the dragon marks that, again, we'll get into that in further episodes. But it's that history and that lore about those nations that really defines and can make great adventure hooks. One of my goals as a DM, when I find the time, is to run a mini adventure in each nation of Corvair. Because personally, so far, I found out that most adventures in Corvair have been relegated to Sharn in Breland. I do have my map up right here. Sharn, that's in Breland, the nation of Breland. Ciri, which the morning happened, which absolutely, why would you not want to go there? I've run campaigns where they've went into the fog, the morning. It's in Old Ciri, and the amount of fun that you can have there is great. But I've also had them go through Droam and things like that. So if we go, I'll have to pull up a map here because I'm gonna try and show you there, and there's no point. So I'll pull up a map. So going through Droam was a lot of fun. The new nation of monsters, well, monstrous races. but that aren't ratified by the treaty hold. So that's one thing that I look forward into delving deeper in and helping maybe you guys find adventure hooks in places that aren't Sharn, or maybe Sharn as well, but kind of to look at Khorvaire as a whole and why I think it is such a fun place to adventure D&D in, and why you should maybe think of using it as a published setting the next time around. So you can expect an Eberron lore video every Monday as we go through a deep dive. We will start with a little bit of 4E content, and as well the Rise of the Last War, the 5E book, and then we will be making our way to the Exploring Eberron book that Keith Baker just put out, which is superb. It is just an extra chunk of lore that any DM could use for many of the nations. It goes deeper than was ever deeper before, and it's written by Keith Baker. It is available on the DM's Guild now, so if you guys like Eberron, you already own the Rise of the Last War, you've read it, you've loved it like I have. I've read every single page, and maybe I don't remember things right. Yeah, I've read every single page. Exploring Eberron would be a fantastic supplement to your collection that I'm sure you'd love. So come with me on this series as we explore Eberron even further, and talk about the nations, the races, why it would be fun to adventure in the Moor Holds, in Karrnath, in Valinar, in the Talenta Plains. I mean, halflings riding raptors and pterodons. Enough said. Talenta Plains. That sounds fun. And as we explore deeper, and how you guys could probably make this published setting into a lot of fun for you guys' next campaign. I'm Mazarok. I stream every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday on Twitch. Upcoming is the Rime of the Frost Maiden on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern as well, which we are streaming that on my channel. Links are in the description below. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like this type of content. Lets me know that you guys that you like it and that you want more of it, and we will go forward from there.